Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing really well. In today's video we are going to be carrying on with this page from Lulu Mayo and we're going to be using the Castle art pencils to continue this page. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. First, taking lavender, I'm going to make a start on this cloud underneath the unicorn here. So I'm going to go in with light pressure first and just sort of map out where I want this colour to be on the cloud. I think I'll add some over here as well, so I'll just put a little bit down this side. Then going in with lavender light, I'm going to go ahead and mark out where I want this colour to be. So again, I'm just going to use some light pressure and go ahead and place the pencil down. And I'm going to go back in with lavender and add a little bit more darker colour here just underneath the unicorn. Okay, and I quite like how this is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and start darkening up using lavender first. So I'm just going to use more pressure at the edges where we want the colour to be the darkest, and then I'm going to lift the pressure as we come into the lighter colour so it's easier to blend out. Okay, so now going back in with lavender light, I'm just going to use normal pressure and go ahead and fill in the rest of this cloud. So I'm going to take it over the darker colour as well and just blend that all together nicely. Okay, next going in with juniper pink, we're going to make a start on this cloud here. So again, I'm going to go in with some light pressure and just sort of mark out where I want this colour to be. And I'm just going to darken this up a little bit just so we can see the true colour. And then I'm going to add some down this side as well. So again, I'm just using light pressure for this. Then taking purple light, I'm going to go ahead and place some of this purple colour into the cloud as well. So again, I'm just going in with light pressure here and just marking out where I want this colour to be. And then I'm going to go in with a bit more pressure here and start to blend this together and see how it's looking. And then I'm going to go back in with juniper pink and go over the blend line just so we can make sure that it's going to blend nicely. And I'm quite happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the cloud with the light purple. So I'm just using normal pressure for this and going ahead and filling this in. And then where I get to the lighter pink colour, I'm going to lift the pressure again so it's easier to blend. Then going back in with Juniper Pink, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this middle section. And again, I'm just going to use normal pressure and go over a bit of the darker purple and fill in this section here. And next, going in with Azalea Pink, we're going to make a start on this cloud down here in between the dinosaurs. So first off, I'm just going to go in with a light coat, and then I'm going to add a little bit more pressure just around the edges, just to darken up the edges of the cloud. Then taking mauve, I'm going to go ahead and use light pressure again and just place this colour in the centre of the cloud. Then back in with Azalea Pink, and I'm going to go ahead and go over everything in this cloud, so even where we've added the mauve, just to give it a bit more of a pink tint to it. Then taking Lavender Light, we're going to make a start on this cloud here. So I'm going to go ahead and darken up this side here and underneath the dragon's wings. So I'm just using normal pressure for this. And then what I'm going to do is lift the pressure as I come away so that where we blend it will be a little bit lighter. So here I'm just going to start to lift the pressure so it's a bit lighter. Then going in with Purple Light, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the other section of this cloud. So I'm just using normal pressure over here, and then again when I go over the lighter purple colour, I'll lift the pressure off the page. Then I'm going back in with Lavender Light, and I'm just going to go ahead and go over this blend just so it looks a bit smoother. Next, taking Juniper Pink again, I'm going to make a start on this big cloud down here. So I'm just going to use normal pressure here and darken this bit up. And then I'm going to start to lift the pressure so that it's easier to blend out. So again, we'll add some dark pressure down the bottom here and then lift the pressure to blend this out. Then going in with Bengal Rose Deep, we're going to go over where we left the lighter pressure and then start to bring this colour more across the cloud as well. So then going in with Bengal Rose Light, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the cloud. So I'm just going to use normal pressure now and just go ahead and fill this in. Next, taking Lemon Yellow, we're going to make a start on the lights on the unicorn. So I'm just going to use normal pressure to fill in the actual light, and then I'm going to lift the pressure and do like a little bit of a glow around it so it looks like the lights are glowing. Then taking cobalt turquoise, I'm going to go ahead and make a start on the hair of the unicorn. So I'm going to use light pressure here and place this colour down on the hair. And I'm going to leave this little patch in the middle with just the white underneath so that we've got like a little highlight there. Then going in with cerulean blue, I'm going to go ahead and add some shade to the hair. So I'm going to darken up like the tops and the bottom sections and anywhere that I think would be a little bit darker. And again, I'm just using normal pressure for this part. So I'm just darkening up a few of these little lines that have already been drawn in just to make them look a little bit more shaded. Then here we're going to darken up by the unicorn horn because that would cast a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm going to add a little bit more shadow to this front section as well. Then I'm going to go back in with cobalt turquoise and go ahead and darken up where we left the lighter blue. And for this patch in the middle, I'm just going to lightly dust over it. Then going in with our white pencil, I'm going to go over where we left the lightest colour and just blend that all together. Then taking cobalt turquoise again, we're going to do these hairs matching. So I'm going to go in with the base coat on this unicorn's hair. Then taking cerulean blue, I'm going to go ahead and add some shade to this. So for this one, I'm going to shade underneath the little dress where it would be casting a bit of a shadow and then just drag the colour down slightly. Then going back in with cobalt turquoise, I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Then with cerulean blue, we're going to add some shade here behind the ear and just down this side. And then for the head, we'll add some shadow behind the horn and underneath the horn. And then just a little bit down here around the hairline. And back in with cobalt turquoise to go ahead and fill that all in. Next, taking lemon yellow, I'm going to make a start on the saddle. So this one I'm going to fill in completely. And then under here, I'm going to fill this in as well. So I'm just using normal pressure and just filling these sections in. Then taking golden yellow deep, I'm going to add some shade, but just to the edges. So I'm going to do normal pressure at the edges and then lift the pressure as you come towards the middle. Then taking cerulean blue light, I'm going to go ahead and do a really light base coat on the other sections. And then just darken up the pressure, so put a bit more pressure down to get a bit of a darker colour around the edges. And then just lift the pressure as you come into the middle so that we've got a little highlight in the middle. So for this one, I'm going to darken up all here and underneath her dress because this would be a little bit darker as well. And then just leave the highlighted patch underneath. Then going in with our white pencil, I'm going to go over our highlights and blend this all together. Okay, and that's how it's looking so far. So I think I'm going to start on the background now. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll make a start on the background. So using cornflower blue, I'm going to go ahead and go around the edges of the different stars and clouds and rainbows in the background. And this is just going to give them like a little bit more of a glow effect. So I'm just using normal pressure here just to go right up around the edges. And then I'm going to lift the pressure to start to blend this out. So I'm just going to do a bit more lighter pressure and sort of blend this colour out. Then going in with Delft Blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the background. So I'm just using normal pressure here, taking it over the cornflower blue just so that it all blends together nicely. Then going back in with cornflower blue, I'm just going to go over the blends and make sure there's no harsh lines. Okay, so sticking with cornflower blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in these little sections in between the clouds. So I'm just using normal pressure and just filling these in. And sticking with cornflower blue, we're going to do the same up here. So I'm going to go ahead and use normal pressure around the edges, and then I'll lift the pressure to lighten the colour to blend it out a little bit easier. Back in with Delft Blue and just fill in the middle section. So going back in with cornflower blue again, I'm just going over any of the blends, and I'm going to continue this across the top part of this picture. So I'm just going in with normal pressure and then lifting the pressure off. Then back in with Delft Blue, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the white sections. Back in with cornflower blue, I'm just going to darken up the blend lines. And back in with Delft Blue to fill in this little bit down here. And cornflower blue again. I'm going to start to go around the edges on this bit here. So just go around his little instrument. I'm going to fill this bit in completely by his feet. And then I'm going to go around the moon and start to darken all of this up with the cornflower blue. And then I'm going to start to lift the pressure so that we can blend this out easier. I'll do the same for this side of the moon. Then going back in with Delft Blue, I'm going to fill in inside of his instrument because I wanted this to be a little bit darker in here. And then I'm going to fill in the white space around here. So going back in with Cornflower Blue, I'm just going to go over where we left the blend line and make sure that this looks nicely blended. So next, going in with Cornflower Blue again, I'm going to go ahead and go around the edges underneath her wings and around the cloud. Then going in with Cobalt Blue Deep, which is a little bit lighter, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the middle section because I want the page to get lighter as it comes down. So again, I'm going to use Cornflower Blue and do the edges up here. And then I'm going to lift the pressure and start to blend the lines out. Then going back in with Cobalt Blue Deep, I'm going to go ahead and fill in these white sections here and take it over the Cornflower Blue just so it all blends in together nicely. And then going back in with Cornflower Blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill this little section in here. And then I'm going to do the edges on this section and leave a little patch in the middle. This bit under here I'm going to fill in completely. Then I'm going to go back in with the blue and fill in this middle section. Then going back in with Cornflower Blue, I'm going to do the edges around this side as well. And then start to lift the pressure so that we can blend this out easier. Then going back in with Cobalt Blue Deep, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this section here. Then going back in with cornflower blue, I'm going to go around the edges here. So again, just normal pressure around the edges and then lift the pressure to blend this out. Then back in with cobalt blue deep to fill in the middle section. Then using cobalt blue deep, we're going to do this colour for the edges on this bottom section. So I'm going to go around the edges with more harder pressure and then lift the pressure to blend out the line. Because again, I wanted it to be even lighter as it came towards the bottom of the page. So next, taking primary blue, I'm going to fill in this section here. And this is a little bit lighter again, just so that we can get that lighter effect as it comes down the page. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and fill this in. Then going back in with cobalt blue deep, I'm going to carry on going around the edges. Then going back in with primary blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this section here. Then going back in with cobalt blue deep, I'm going to go ahead and carry on going around the edges. So just using normal pressure and then lifting the pressure to blend that out. Then going back in with primary blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the middle sections. Okay, I'm back in with cobalt deep blue, and this is our last little section of the background. So I'm going to go ahead and go around all the edges again and then lift the pressure to blend it out easier. Then back in with primary blue, and we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this space. Okay guys, and this is how the background is looking. So next I'm going to go in with warm grey light, and I'm going to make a start on these unicorns. So I'm just going to use light pressure and go ahead and add some shade to them, because I want them to be white unicorns, but I don't want to leave them all white, so I thought we'll add a little bit of colour to them. So I'm just darkening up underneath the saddle and anywhere that I think would be a little bit darker. We'll do the same for this one. So again, I'm going to add some shade up here where it looks a little bit darker. Then I'm just going to use a little bit more pressure and just add a little bit more darker grey. So it's still the same colour, but just a little bit more pressure just to darken it up a little bit. We'll add a little bit more here. And I'm going to darken this one up as well. So I'm just going to go over and just add a little bit more pressure to this. Then taking azalea pink, I'm going to go over the grey with the pink. So I'm just using really light pressure for this and just adding a little tiny bit of pink onto the unicorn. So I'm mainly going over the grey and then just bringing it into the white slightly. And I'm going to do the same for this unicorn as well. And then I'm just going to use a little bit more pressure around the face just to give that a little bit more of a pink tint. And a little bit on his belly. Okay, next going in with Naples Yellow Light, I'm going to go ahead and go over the grey and the pink and blend it all together. And then I'm going to fill in most of the unicorn, but I am going to leave some white on its belly just so that it's got a natural highlight. So just the centre bit here I'm going to leave. And we'll do the same for this one, so go over all the other colours. And then I'm just going to leave a little bit in the middle with no colour, so it's like a little white highlight. Now going in with our Posca pen, we're going to make a start on getting rid of these lines in the stars. So I'm just going to go over these and just fill these in. And then I'm going to go over the star itself as well, just to make that stand out a little bit more. So I'll do the same for all of these. And then I'm going to go over these lines that have been drawn in. I'm just going to go over them and add in the white Posca. And then I'm going to add some little stars to the background, just dotting the Posca pen on there. These ones I'm going to go over with the Posca pen and just fill them in. And then again here, I'm going to go over the lines that were already drawn in. I'm going to go over the lines of his little instrument just so that they really stand out. And then I'm going to add some stars into the background and go over these stars as well. And then down here, I'm going to fill in these stars as well and add some more in. Now I'm going to go over the lines of her wings because I want to make these look like they're kind of see-through. So I'm just going to go over all the lines with the white Posca pen. I'm going to add some more stars in here. And now I'm going to go over the unicorn. So all the lines on the unicorn, I'm going to make them white so that it just looks like she is actually a white unicorn. And we haven't got any of the black lines around her. And then I'm going to go around this star and again go over the lines in its shooting star part. I'm going to add some more stars into the background. Okay guys, so this is how the picture came out. So I hope that you've enjoyed this colour along. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.